Welcome to the Travel Story on Earth Channel. Today we will meet Dubai. Just the name conjures up images, doesn't it? A shimmering mirage rising from the desert sands, a playground for the rich and famous, a futuristic skyline that seems ripped from the pages of science fiction. And yeah, Dubai is all of those things, but it's also so much more. Behind the glitz and glamour, you'll find a city steeped in history and tradition, a melting pot of cultures from every corner of the globe. This is a city of contrasts where ancient souks bustle with life alongside sleek, modern skyscrapers. Dubai is a city that defies expectations, a place that has to be seen to be believed. Are you ready? Let's go. Please subscribe to the channel and like the videos. Alright, let's kick things off with the big one, the one you can't miss, literally, the Burj Khalifa. This towering testament to human ambition pierces the sky at a staggering 2,717 feet. That's over half a mile straight up. It's currently the tallest building in the world, and trust me, it's even more impressive in person than in pictures. Getting up there is an experience in itself. You'll zoom up in high-speed elevators with digital displays that make you feel like you're rocketing into space. The whole thing is smooth, efficient, and over before you know it. Before you even know it, you're 124 floors above the ground, looking out at a view that seems to stretch on forever. And the view? Well, it's nothing short of breathtaking. From up here, Dubai unfurls beneath you like a giant glittering map. You can see the entire city laid out before you, from the sparkling waters of the Arabian Gulf to the rolling dunes of the desert beyond. It's a sight that'll stay with you long after you've come back down to earth. Pick a clear day, and you can see for miles in every direction. Off to one side, you've got the sail-shaped Burj Al Arab jutting out into the sea. To the other, the man-made archipelago of Palmjumeira stretches out like a frond against the blue. And everywhere you look, there are skyscrapers, each one more impressive than the last. But the Burj Khalifa is more than just a pretty view. It's a symbol of Dubai's ambition, its relentless drive to push the boundaries of what's possible. Think about it, just a few decades ago, this entire city was little more than a desert outpost. And now look at it, and that's the thing about Dubai that gets me, this constant tension between the old and the new, the traditional and the modern. Yeah, you've got this futuristic skyline, but down at street level, you've still got the sights, sounds, and smells of the old souks. Now, let's talk about a different kind of excess, the kind that makes shopaholics weak in the knees. Brace yourselves, because we're heading to the Dubai Mall. I know what you're thinking. Another mall? Come on, show me something authentic. And you're right, this place is anything but a typical shopping center. This is the Dubai Mall we're talking about, a behemoth of consumerism that sprawls over 5.9 million square feet. To put that in perspective, you could fit more than 50 football fields in here. Look, I'll admit, I'm not usually one for malls, but even I have to hand it to Dubai. They don't do anything halfway. We're talking over 1,200 stores, from high street favorites to luxury boutiques dripping with designer labels. But the real draw here isn't the shopping, it's the sheer spectacle of it all. Where else can you go ice skating in the desert, gawk at a 24-meter-high indoor waterfall, or come face to face with sharks in a massive aquarium? Yeah, you heard that right. They've got a full-blown aquarium inside this place, complete with a walk-through tunnel where you can watch sharks and rays glide right over your head. And then there's the Dubai Fountain, a choreographed water show that takes place right outside the mall. Every half hour, these massive jets erupt from the surface of the Burj Khalifa lake, shooting water hundreds of feet into the air. It's like something out of a Las Vegas show. Only bigger, bolder, and, dare I say, more impressive. The whole thing is synchronized to music and lights, creating this mesmerizing display that'll leave you wondering how they pull it off. My advice? Grab a table at one of the restaurants overlooking the fountain, order yourself a drink, and just soak it all in. Now, let's leave the glitz and glam behind for a while and take a trip back in time. We're heading to Dubai Creek, the historical heart of the city. This saltwater creek was once the lifeblood of Dubai, a bustling waterway that connected the city to the rest of the world. Forget your fancy sports cars and limousines. Here, the preferred mode of transport is the Abra, We're talking about traditional wooden boats that have been ferrying passengers across the creek for centuries. They're a little rickety, maybe a little crowded, but trust me, there's no better way to experience the creek. Once you've crossed the creek, you'll find yourself in Al Fahidi, one of Dubai's oldest neighborhoods. This is where you come to escape the skyscrapers and immerse yourself in the city's past. The narrow, winding alleyways are lined with traditional courtyard houses, many of them restored to their former glory. Take a walk through the labyrinthine streets, and you'll feel like you've stepped back in time. The air is thick with the scent of spices, the sound of children playing echoes through the alleyways, and the pace of life is noticeably slower here. Make sure you visit the Dubai Museum, housed in the 18th century Al Fahidi fort. It's a bit of a hodgepodge, but it does a decent job of telling the story of Dubai's transformation from a small fishing village to the metropolis it is today. You'll see exhibits on pearl diving, Bedouin life, and the discovery of oil that changed everything. But honestly, the real charm of Al Fahidi lies in simply getting lost in its maze-like streets. Duck into a traditional cafe for a cup of Arabic coffee and a date, or visit one of the art galleries showcasing the work of local artists. Now let's crank up the sensory experience and dive headfirst into the vibrant chaos of Dubai's souks. Forget your sterile shopping malls, this is where the real action is. We're talking narrow alleyways overflowing with goods, the air thick with the scent of spices and perfumes, the constant hum of bartering filling your ears. It's a full-on assault on the senses, but trust me, it's an experience you won't soon forget. The souks are divided into different sections, each specializing in a particular type of goods. You've got your gold souk, your spice souk, your textile souk, you name it, they've got it. Let's start with the gold souk, because who doesn't love a little bling? This place is like a scene out of Aladdin, with shop windows glittering with more gold than you can shake a stick at. We're talking necklaces the size of your arm, rings that could double as knuckle dusters, and earrings that would make Mr. T jealous. The best part, it's all surprisingly affordable. The gold here is much cheaper than what you'd find back home, and haggling is not only expected, it's practically a national sport. So channel your inner negotiator, put on your best poker face, and don't be afraid to drive a hard bargain. Next up, we're heading to the spice souk, where the air is thick with the aroma of exotic spices from all over the world. As you wander through the narrow alleyways, you'll be bombarded with sights, sounds, and smells that will transport you to another world. Mountains of colorful spices rise up on either side of you: turmeric, saffron, cumin, cardamom, their aromas mingling together in a heady perfume. You'll find vendors selling everything from frankincense and myrrh to dried fruits and nuts. It's a feast for the senses, and a great place to pick up some souvenirs. Alright, enough with the city slicker stuff. Let's trade these concrete canyons for something a little more, shall we say, elemental. It's time to experience the heart and soul of Arabia, the desert. And trust me, no trip to Dubai is complete without venturing out into the vast, unforgiving, and surprisingly beautiful Arabian desert. Now you've got options. You can rent a 4x4 and go it alone, but honestly I recommend going with a tour group. Why? Because these guys know the desert like the back of their hands. They'll pick you up at your hotel in a convoy of SUVs usually tricked out with roll cages and all that jazz, just in case things get a little hairy. And things will get hairy. Get ready for some dune bashing, folks. Picture this. You're strapped into your seat as your driver expertly navigates the towering sand dunes, careening up steep inclines and then plunging down the other side like a roller coaster. It's a wild, exhilarating ride, and not for the faint of heart. But the desert isn't just about adrenaline rushes. Take a moment to soak in the silence, the vastness, the sheer raw beauty of this unforgiving landscape. The way the sunlight plays on the dunes, creating constantly shifting patterns of light and shadow. It's a sight that'll stay with you long after you've left the desert. As the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the sand, you'll make your way to a traditional Bedouin camp. Here, you can experience a taste of the nomadic lifestyle that has sustained people in this harsh environment for centuries. Ride a camel, get a henna tattoo, or just relax on cushions beneath the stars, sipping sweet tea and listening to traditional music. And then as the stars begin to paint the night sky, it's time for the feast. We're talking a traditional Bedouin barbecue with grilled meats, fragrant rice dishes, and all the fixings. After dinner, sit back and enjoy a mesmerizing belly dancing performance under the endless canopy of stars. It's an experience that captures the magic and mystery of the desert. Alright, let's shift gears again. We've scaled skyscrapers, wandered through ancient souks, and braved the unforgiving desert. Now it's time for something completely different. A little slice of fantasy on the edge of the Arabian Gulf. Get ready to dive into a world of aquatic wonder at Atlantis The Palm. This isn't just another hotel, folks. This is a sprawling, pink-hued palace rising from the artificial archipelago of Palmjumeira. We're talking soaring archways, domes covered in shimmering mosaics, and a prime location perched on the crescent of the palm itself. It's ostentatious, it's over the top, and it's exactly what you'd expect from a city like Dubai. Now, Atlantis is home to all sorts of attractions, but let's be honest, you're here for one thing: Aquaventure Water Park. This place is a sprawling aquatic playground, a labyrinth of slides, rides, and pools that will leave you breathless, and maybe a little waterlogged. We're talking heart-stopping slides that send you plummeting through shark-filled lagoons, lazy rivers that wind their way through lush tropical landscapes, and wave pools that'll have you bobbing like a cork in the ocean. Whether you're an adrenaline junkie or just looking to cool off from the desert heat, Aquaventure has something for everyone. But Aquaventure is just the tip of the iceberg. Head to the Lost Chambers Aquarium and prepare to be mesmerized by the wonders of the deep. This isn't your average aquarium, folks. This place is designed to transport you to the mythical lost city of Atlantis, with dimly lit hallways, crumbling ruins, and massive tanks teeming with marine life. You'll wander through tunnels that offer panoramic views of sharks, rays, and schools of colorful fish. You'll encounter giant groupers, graceful jellyfish, and even those creepy crawly crustaceans that I personally try to avoid. It's an immersive experience that will leave you feeling like you've taken a journey to the bottom of the ocean. Before I sign off, let's talk about one last thing. Remember what I said about contrasts? Nowhere is that more apparent than in Dubai's architecture. One minute you're admiring the intricate Islamic design of the Jumeirah Mosque. The next, you're craning your neck to take in the Cayenne Tower. And then, there's the Burj Al Arab, that sail-shaped icon. It's a city constantly pushing boundaries, daring to be different. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video for more amazing content about Dubai and other travel destinations.